Well, grab a seat, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, Dean Davis, the flip.
Flip.
It's a co-flip because we're lucky enough to be joined by the Dads Talking Shit podcast. Make sure you follow them at DTS_podcast. We got Franco Crowell and also our boy Ray Decatur joining me. I'm Kenneth Davis, and you know him. His name is
D. What's going on, everybody? Hey, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at D and Davis Show. Once again, it's at D and Davis Show. Click on the link in the bio. Take you to everywhere you can find a podcast. Simply search for the D and Davis Show, D and Davis a Flip, and Westford Flip. All right. I'm on Twitter and IG at Demons1, DEMONZE1. Ken is on Twitter at That's Davis, IG as well. Ryan Bukoveski, executive producer of everything that we do. He's on Twitter at Ryan B. Ski, Ryan B. Ski, and IG at Ryan B. Ski 1. And we got our guys, Ray and Franco, at the Dads Talking Shit podcast. Make sure y'all follow them on Twitter at Dad. It's Dad Talking Shit, right? Yep. There you go. Dads Talking Shit.
All right, listen, since we haven't talked to you guys since the whole COVID-19 thing has popped up, and we know that you guys are correction officers, I thought the first thing we should talk about is what's going on inside of prisons, how it's affecting your lives, and also what's going on with the prisons inside of there, too.
Oh, man. To be fortunate enough, we was able to get out of the jail, but we still work for the sheriff's department. You know, we got all the things going on, which is a blessing. But I think it was almost inevitable for it to happen inside the prisons and correctional facilities, because you got everybody so close together in one section. It's easy to keep it out, but it's also, once it get in there, it's just going to spread like a wildfire. And like I said, I think it's unfortunate because, it's almost, you can take every precaution that you can. It's just one mishap, and then you're exposed to it.
How long were you guys? Because I know initially it was you guys were working in there, and then it was to go on to the sheriff's office. But when did you guys switch off to work for the sheriff's office? And congratulations, but when did that take place?
No.
Hey, so I left and I switched over to the unit I'm in now in December. We still with the sheriff's offices and everything, but I switched out to my unit.
You switched. Was it November or December?
December.
And I went a week right before him in November. So the Thanksgiving week is when I started. Was where I started in the unit I'm in. But we're both investigators.
Okay.
So, yeah. So we both. But I mean, they kind of are doing like the pieces kind of thing. So now it's like, because people are getting sick inside the jail, people are getting sick where they shut everything down. So it's like compress everything. Everyone's focus is now on the main facility on 26th California. So you notice that like the courthouses are shut down, are like pretty much shut down. They're not really doing much court. They're actually doing video court from what I've noticed. And they've moved deputies from the courthouses back into the jail to work the jail because we're just calling off. People are being sick.
Yeah.
And then you have, where they're also, people want the release of people, detainees out of the jail. So then you have units taking, putting the detainees on house arrest. So there's like 3,000 detainees on house arrest at this
quarter of the jail population is on house
which
arrest.
is insane because there's 3,000 detainees, pretrial who are, able to be not roam the streets per se, but they're able to be on house arrest. So.
Are they violent detainees or are they just, druggies or something? Just so I can know if I need to strap up.
That's the thing, though. You want to know.
Safety first.
Yeah, always.
I would just say just use your own judgment as far as safety. I don't want to. I can't really speak on what exactly who's getting put out, if they're violent or not. But I would say just everyone's just be precautious.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Don't know who on the streets, huh? No, Bray, you was about to say something?
I was just saying that it's it doesn't matter. Like, it could be a violent or a non-violent person that you put back out, but it's just that history he have of being a criminal that,
they have the likelihood of recommitting.
Right, exactly.
Of recommitting the crime.
Or a new crime.
Right, or a new crime. It's statistically shown that when you put someone back out who is detained, who has committed a crime, it's like 70% chance of they will recommit either the same crime or a new crime. So.
Wow. Yeah, my neighbor behind me, I was just taking out the garbage, and this must have been 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I think I told y'all, Ryan, about this. But we was just talking, you know what I'm saying, keeping our distance. But he works down at the county too. I'm gonna get his name because I hardly see the cat. But older guy, black guy, kind of short, kind of stocky. And I was asking him, like,
you got a social too, D?
Hey, I just want to let them know. Maybe they might recognize him. I don't know. Like, oh man, that's Tyrone.
Tattoo on his neck, his face.
So, but no, this is about 2 or 3 weeks ago when everything was like really, you know what I'm saying, starting to get ramped up or whatever. And he was like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying, it's cool. Like, we got maybe like 1 or 2 guys. We kind of, you know what I'm saying, put them off to the side. I'm like, what about y'all got masks? Y'all got gloves? He was like, yeah, you know, but we all in there together. And I literally, the next week, I think I saw the article, and we might even talked about it. I think at that time it was like 60 people was have been affected with the coronavirus. And I'm sure it's probably in the hundreds now.
200.
200?
It's about 200 inmates and 200 officers, which is crazy because think about it. So Chicago has, I think, like 300 some cases, but they have like, if I'm not mistaken, Chicago CPD has like 8,000 officers or 6,000 officers, something like that. Mm-hmm. There's 200 some odd sheriff's office employees with this, and there's like 2,500 of us. So wow, the percentage is a lot higher on our end.
Whoa, that's crazy.
But I've been following because they shoot out emails every day with numbers.
Every day, yeah.
And I haven't seen like a drastic spike. It's like, as they all saying it now, I guess the county has flattened the curve. Mm-hmm. But the numbers are staying like right around 200. It's no spikes or nothing. But I'm good to see the numbers that recoveries are getting higher than the numbers that are sick. So that's a good thing.
Right. I mean, we did because it was yesterday we laid Officer Rivera to rest. So they did emergency traffic over the radio for her final call. But she's the big push that they've been having on the news lately of her passing. We did have a passing, but they're not saying it's from COVID. They're saying it's from natural causes. And then just yesterday, Melrose Park had an officer that passed away from COVID. So it's affected. I mean, it sucks, you know.
Definitely sucks.
Man.
Well, we definitely sorry. Dean Davis with the Dad Talking Shit podcast. We got Ray and Franco on with us. Let's jump into the topics.
Let's go.
All right. So the top Navy officer has recommended the reinstatement of the aircraft carrier captain fired for sending a fraught email to commanders pleading for faster action to protect the crew from coronavirus outbreak. Officials familiar with the investigation said on Friday. Admiral Michael Gilday recommended that Captain Brett Kozer be returned to the ship and said officials who spoke to the condition of anonymity to discuss the results of the investigation have not yet been made public. If improved, his recommendation would end the drama that rocked the Navy leadership. And I mean, I think we all can remember seeing him walk off the ship and all the people on there cheering for him. For anybody who doesn't know the backstory, he basically sent up the flag like, listen, it's really bad on this ship for these guys. People are getting infected. And his higher-ups got mad at him and said basically what he did was wrong. But, of course, the people under him felt that he was trying to save their lives, and now they're basically giving him back what they should have given him in the first place.
Dude, it was like 700 crew members on that ship was affected. Yeah. So it's kind of like crazy. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to raise it up. Hey, y'all, this is what's happening. It's bad. The worst thing about it is he had to go in this roundabout way because he knew Dum-Dum in the office going, you know what I'm saying, pitch a bitch about it. Mm-hmm. And, oh, man, yeah, it's crazy. Trump was all like, well, he had to be Ernest Hemingway. He had to write a letter. Like, motherfucker, it was 5 pages. Damn, you can't read 5 pages? Now we know why we fucked up. So, can't read 5 pages? So,
read 2 sentences. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So, it's good to hear, Ken, that guy's he's getting his gig. Well, possibly going to get his gig back. I don't know if it's from a lot of internal pressure. I would think, y'all, that Trump has a final say so. So, I mean, he is the chief over all the military, so I would say so.
Yeah, but I don't think that – I personally think that he'll get reinstated. It's kind of it's kind of like, yeah, Trump has the final say so, but you have to understand. Like, he also has to understand that there's a lot of people that make his life easier with military decisions, and you need to put this dude back in. Like, they can make his life a lot harder. Military decisions, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
the point.
Yeah, I don't know. I
just feel he was just speaking up for his people, man.
Yeah.
Anybody with rank in the military or with that background, even in law enforcement, they're looking out for their people. They want the best for their people. Well, they're going to speak up for their people.
You would hope they all.
In general,
look out for their people.
The majority do.
Right.
We get those more than the others, and I just think he gets back what's owed to him, man. That's all it is.
Yeah. You can't blame the man for wanting to actually, bring attention to something that was happening. That was a problem. I mean, obviously these people were under his command, and he wanted the best for them, and he noticed he wasn't getting that, so that's why he put the letter out, and people got in their feeling pants.
And, I mean, it's off topic, but I think I feel the same situation about what they did with Dr. Fauci.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy, speaking up and like, no, I'm not gonna go with this hush hush stuff and sweep stuff under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
Facts.
No, we definitely need stuff like that, especially right now. I mean, it was a report that came out talking about they wanted to push the hydrochloride, whatever they call it. They wanted to flood New Jersey and New York with it. That sound like some Nino Brown fucking UXC type shit. We gonna flood the market. Everybody gonna get on this shit. I'm dying.
So I did my little research-ish about it, with everyone talking about this whole, everybody's focused on this whole 5G conspiracy.
Yeah.
So what I found was that Dr. Fauci, as well as Bill Gates, have stock in the whole antibody and the vaccine situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we see Trump has this whole, he has stake in the production of this particular drug. So it a lot of people are like, whoa, wow, this is really weird. But then I start thinking about it, like, it's not weird. This is me about to make some money. I mean, yeah, people die for it, but I'm about to make some money off of it. Especially not making money anywhere else. If the stock exchange is kind of, tanking.
Yeah, it's tanking.
Nino Orange. Orange.
Trump trying to get the juice now, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. After several recent cancellations due to the spread of coronavirus, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, has announced its comeback with a 3-card fight. The UFC said the events will be closed to the public and will take place only with essential personnel in attendance. Health and safety protocols will be in place to ensure the safety and well-being of all individuals who are helping to make these events possible. The Florida State Boxing Commission Executive Director Patrick Cunningham said in feature for UFC events coming in May. Florida is to continue to build strong collaboration with the UFC that sets the foundation for more opportunities, and we hope the UFC will choose us to host more fights in our states in the upcoming months. So here we go again with Dana White.
What you think, Ken?
They need to sit their asses down.
Right.
I mean, dude, you sweating, you breathing. You have to train. I mean, see, the thing is this. And we haven't heard this with the UFC. I know initially with Fight Island, we did hear about kind of the NBA, the NFL model of isolation, taking people away. We kind of did hear about that. But they're just going to be down in Florida. Your trainers, where you train at. So just talk about different places where you can catch this infection. Then you guys come together and spread it. I mean, listen, dude, just chill out. We all want sports to be back. But I need this bad boy to go away so I can get back into these streets because I'm going a little bit. I love my family. But I'm a little stir crazy in this joint, so I want to see fights. But for me, again, my last point, to entertain me, I don't need to risk anybody else's health to entertain me. I mean, I just need to find something else to preoccupy myself with.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting? You bring the fact up is in Florida, and we saw the WWE. They got the essential tag. Like, hey, yeah, it's cool. And where is it? It's in Florida. So
Florida.
Go ahead.
You're just gonna bring everybody to that one state, and it's just gonna go crazy, man. It's ridiculous.
Florida is the hold my beer of the United States.
Facts.
Yes. Yes.
They don't listen to nobody. They just do every fucking thing that like, oh, we're gonna do this. Oh, well, watch me, I'll do it better. It's just dumb, and like it's just I've hated Florida for many years just because of the humidity, but it's just I don't know.
It's crazy too, Ryan. The simple fact they have a lot of older people down there, and you would think that they would not want to do anything to kind of put in jeopardy their citizens. But I think population, yeah. But I think isn't Florida's cases like on the rise too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think they've peaked or come close to peaking yet.
I saw their governor bragging about 3 days ago that what the numbers were projected that they're way below. Okay. And he was saying, look at us now, and we really didn't shut down this state. So their numbers, I'm not saying that they may not become higher, but they're lower than the projections. But that's kind of been with everybody because, I mean, and again, I hope it stays like this. But, you know, we was hearing for about 3 weeks ago that we were going to be about 100,000 now. And we just crossed 50 the other day. Mm-hmm. So the projections outside of New York are lower, I believe, than what we're expecting New York and perhaps Michigan due to Detroit and stuff like that.
You got to think about it, too, like New York got hit. And then, like, when New York got hit, everyone was like, oh, this is serious.
Yeah.
So they started taking the precautions. And, and also you got to think about, too, a lot of people are not being tested or they just don't give a fuck and they're not going to get tested. Mm-hmm. Well, you won't get the proper numbers until everyone's, consistently getting tested. Like, I think I just found out today that Pritzker had been talking. His whole thing was he wanted 10,000 tests for our state, mm-hmm. every day.
Yeah.
We had, 19,000 yesterday?
Yeah, something like that. So, he wants – the more testing you get, the more data you're going to get, the more your numbers are not going to be skewed. So, but to me, if Florida's talking about lowest, I honestly think that everyone in Florida is like, man, fuck it. And they don't really get tested. I don't think anyone in Florida – because they shut – I remember Florida had the drive-up testing when they were doing drive-up testing, and then they stopped them. They shut them down.
Oh, I don't remember that. Damn.
Yeah.
So
because nobody was going.
So how so cool, awesome. Like blow more smoke up my ass about that we have a low number when you're not testing them. You're not caring about testing nobody.
Ryan, what are your thoughts on fucking Florida?
Well, the governor is best friends with old 45, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So 45 is calling for anybody, any of his influencer politicians out there to get this country back and going, whether it's sports, whether it's business, whatever. You know that he's trying to. They are talking about having baseball there. They're talking about having basically every sport there on top of it to go along with wrestling that we've talked about the last few weeks, that was deemed essential business. So, if anyone is going to be pushing the envelope to get things, I guess, back to normal, it's going to be the states that are traditionally red, and then some of these states that have guys like Trump's Goonies in there that are trying to get things going for the president.
Real quick, still on topic, but to a side note of another state, Georgia opening it up and trying to kill us with the barbershops, the beauty salons, and the bowling alleys. And just think, we were this close to Stacey Abrams getting that job and not trying to kill black folks. And this vote suppressing ass motherfucker. For anybody,
Florida,
another friend of 45.
I know anybody that needs to get their tap finished right now is out of their fucking mind, to say the least. Stay your asses at home and do not be the black guinea pigs that they're trying to make you become.
Exactly.
Dude, it was a black lady on she's on CNN, I believe, and she was talking about she has a beauty shop. And she was like, yeah, what I'm saying? It's going to be kind of crazy. We can't do any kind of social distancing when I'm like doing someone's hair. Like, we all going to wear masks. We will wear gloves. But like, I can't have a 6 foot, separation when I'm doing somebody's hair. And I'm thinking like, well, sister, we got to put everybody, we try to put our feet in other people's shoes. Like, okay, this is her business. She got to get paid some money. She got to get paid. I agree with that. But it's kind of crazy at the same time. It's like, you raising your risk of getting that Rona and how it's been affecting black people and brown people crazy. So it's kind of like, I guess you got to do what you got to do. But at the same time, like, man, you got to think about this one, sister.
I think that
make some house calls.
It's still dangerous.
Yeah, because you're going to somebody
you going to their house? What you saying?
I've been hearing more people doing. I've been hearing I've been hearing that barbers and beauticians have been doing house calls instead of being like in a kind of like being in a big room or saying a beauty shop or a barber shop. It's a whole bunch of people coming in. At least they got that one person in, and you can kind of control that environment.
There's been like reports of like 2 or 3 barbers that have died from doing house calls.
Dude.
Oh shit! Fuck everything I just said. Dude.
Yeah, fuck everything you just said.
You know what?
Everything that came out of your mouth.
Hey, listen, my guy.
You just said don't risk yourself, but then go to the house.
My guy, he told me he was doing like a Zoom call, just catching up, and he was like, "Yeah, man, my barber came over to my crib and I got a haircut." And I was like, "Damn, that's what they doing?" He's like, "Yeah, they making a house call."
But dude, my barber he cuts out of his house.
I ain't gotta worry about that no more.
Look, I need a cut.
I'm almost there. I'm about to do it, man.
Yep.
I need a cut.
My forehead big enough, so
that's why I got my head on. Y'all would not see this. Holy moly!
But go ahead, Ken.
I'm not getting a cut. I mean, because I know that basically in his house, and mind you, I think I already had COVID back in December or January, but still the risk to other people is what I'm still concerned with. And we don't even know if you can get it again. That's the new hustle, is if you can get it again. So listen, I told him last time I seen him, because I got a haircut when it first happened, me and Kenton. I was like, man, maybe I'll see you in 3 weeks or a month. I'm about to figure out how to do something old school, high school, and cut my own hair. But I know from how many people, because he stays busy. And that COVID has probably been in his basement because he has all types of people from different walks of life in Chicago coming to his house to get a cut. And I know what's the point of me sheltering in place and then I blow it because I need to get a haircut. Like that's where
time wasted.
Yeah, it's like I may as well just be out doing reckless shit then. Regardless, listen, I know you want to get your shit done or whatever. For that, and I know beauticians and barbers need to make money because that's the only way my man makes his money. You know what I'm saying? He takes care of his whole house. So I know he has to keep hustling, and you want people to be able to eat. Now, luckily, we're not in those situations. But if I was, I would probably have to go out here and do what I need to do, and just be like, well, maybe I'm young enough that if I do catch something, I'll be able to get over it. But I mean, people are starving out here. It's not as easy as it sounds to just see your way of life just go to shit, basically, and that's not easy. So sometimes now there are some people out here just being reckless for the sake of being reckless. But there are some people that if they're not out there, their family's not going to eat or their lights are not going to be on. Right. So they have to be outdoors right now.
This is where it comes into the government being able to actually send out some funds. It's our tax money. You know what I'm saying? Maybe send out the money so we can take taken care of and sending that shit to fucking Ruth Chris and Harvard got to send money back and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the money's going in the wrong place.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just about to say that. You think about how many people we have inside this country, and how many of us actually pay. Just say you have 100% of people in the company, in the company. Well, we are a company, but you have 100% of people in the company, and you take, let's say 65% of their taxes, right? 65% of people that actually pay taxes on everything. We pay taxes on everything that we, everything. Mm-hmm. Pay taxes on. Yearly, like annually, monthly, daily, we pay taxes. How is it you can't give us money to survive?
There you go. The money going to the wrong places.
Yeah, it's in all the wrong hands.
Mm-hmm. Basically, that's what's happening. And that's the one thing I will say. I hope this kind of like open people's eyes. I don't know if y'all saw the video of the white guy up in New York. He was a fireman with something, and he was in his car and he was just ranting.
A detective.
Okay, you're a cop. Man, he was just going off, but he was speaking the truth. Like, how the fuck? Like, why are you having these people still paying their mortgage? Put that shit at the back end.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, this is our money. We pay these taxes. It's our fucking money. Send the money back to us. We need it right now. But as we just said, man, it's in the wrong hands. It's going to the wrong places. This is one thing that turns people off from government. This is one thing turning people off from politics. It's just, but I'm hoping that it's opening up people's minds and eyes. Like, okay, this is why you should go vote. This is why you should stay politically active. Figure out what's happening with your money and with your life, because if you don't, the Rona gonna get you. You're gonna be dead.
Yeah.
Plus, drink bleach.
Plus, think about the coincidence with Trump coming in.
Will you say that again, Ryan?
Plus, with the coincidence of Trump coming in, like, he came in, he slashed programs across the board in every avenue. Think about how much money that was taken away and spent elsewhere. So a lot of these places and programs don't even have money to try to help us during a pandemic.
Tax cuts, all that money going to the rich folks. And motherfuckers out here struggling. Even if you have a small business, struggling just to get by.
This is the grossest version of capitalism is what we're living right now. And it's really fucked up because you have a country that we like. For us to be a country the way we are, we don't even have, like, we're all paying for healthcare. There's other countries that are way worse than us that don't pay for healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's fucked up. You can say it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking now.
Yeah, it's fucked. I mean, like, I mean, but the thing is, too, it's funny now that there's a focus point in 45, but this shit has been fucked up for way longer than
years.
that. Yeah, and we should have tried to take control of this shit to people back then, but we're so fucking lazy and just want to be told shit rather than having to actually investigate something. You know, it's easy to see hear a talking point and be like, okay, I'll take that side, rather than trying to find out what's really behind that point and why that person is saying that. And it may not be for the reason that you actually believe. Like, but we love to just be fucking dum-dums on our phones and not pay attention to shit. Like, that's the new drug, and we act like it's not set up like that on purpose to keep us from watching what's really going on behind the fucking curtain.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And Ken, when you think about, like, there are some people behind the scenes in government that are thinking forwardly. We did a story a few flips ago with space getting their own division now in the military. How many movies have we seen of outbreaks? How often has this research been that a global pandemic could always happen? How many diseases did we see, whether it's HIV, SARS, or any of the others come through where we thought, man, you know, if that thing mutated, we'd be effed.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody at all had any foresight whatsoever on a potential global pandemic, even though we've seen plenty of cases where it could have been that way.
Facts.
Yeah.
I mean, Obama was talking about it 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
And depending on how you think he's involved in it, you got your man up there in Microsoft. He's been out there trying to vaccinate the world.
Yeah,
even though
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates talked about it a while back too.
Bill Gates.
you hit him with them.
Hey, man, follow the money.
Yep.
Follow the money.
Dude, take us out.
All right, we're going to come on back. We'll take a break from the flip. Come on back, have some more fun with the Dad's Talking Shit podcast. D and Davis, the flip. We are back. All right. And as Ken said, in our COVID formation, joining us today is the Dad's Talking Shit podcast. Our guys, Franco and Ray. Man, glad to have y'all back on here. We're going into some more of these crazy topics, man.
All right. I was actually watching this. I was we all, for the most part, we are lucky enough we can work from home. I was sitting at the table, and I had CNN on, and the most batshit, craziest shit happened. And I just watched. Actually, I walked away after 20 minutes. I went told after. I was like, you need to go downstairs and watch what I just watched, because Las Vegas mayor is fucking out of her mind.
Oh, yeah.
And but I was like, she's one of the nicest ladies, though, but she's out of her gore.
Do you not have any sense of responsibility if you're calling for something to at least try to work to make it as safe as possible?
I speak with the owners of our city casinos every day, almost. And they're all in such pain of having to furlough or let everybody go in the casinos.
Yeah, I'm sure the casino owners are very sad. I get that.
Well, no, they're very sensitive people that care about their employees and having shut down the businesses here. These are people, not the strip hotels. That's under the jurisdiction of the county, our unincorporated county. Our jurisdiction here, city of Las Vegas.
My heart doesn't. I mean, casino owners. No. I'm sure they're probably doing okay. It's the people who are working on the floor who are the ones who are going to become infected and potentially die.
No, you're talking disease. I'm talking life. I'm talking life and living. These are people who have had to abandon. Well, it maybe doesn't to you. It does to us here in Las Vegas.
So Anderson Cooper had an extended interview on Wednesday with Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman, who was calling for casinos, hotels, and restaurants to reopen in the city, given the wrenching loss of jobs and revenue. The CNN anchor, however, had a lot of questions over just how wise such a move would be at this moment, and how it would work. At one point, Cooper showed a report from Chinese researchers that outlined how the virus spread in the restaurant. I remember she's like, "This isn't China," that she injected, and he was like, "Wow, that's really ignorant. That's ignorant to say." And then the interview went on 15 minutes with Goodman defending her calls for reopening, but also arguing that it's not up to her to determine how businesses necessarily do that and what practices they should use. She basically said she's not an expert in that. Cooper asked her about the risk of reopening public spaces like casinos where people will be in close quarters, also recycled air. He asked, doesn't it sound like a petri dish? She said, it sounds like you're being alarmist. And he said, I'm not. But it went on and on. She was misinformed. This isn't the only batshit crazy Las Vegas mayor I've seen in my life. There's been a couple before. They always seem like they go for the wacko. Unfortunately, again, this is a nice lady. She was very nice when she was trying to defend herself, but it was ridiculous that she was saying, listen, she also said that the market would dictate through COVID what businesses survive. So she was like, if your business isn't necessarily cleaning itself up properly, then it's going to close and then market's going to dictate. And it's just, she wasn't reflecting on the lives or at risk. Everyone's focusing on the capital, and I mean the gains financially. And of course, we're adults. We know that we're in a recession. You could lie to yourself if you want to. They haven't necessarily said it. It was coming anyway. All right. Obama prolonged it. Even if you don't like him, Trump further prolonged it, but it was going to happen to this next president. It was a recession. And this is going to be even harder. We may be closer to a depression because when have we just shut everything down like that? But in saying that, and we know we have to reopen the markets, still people's lives are more important. Yeah.
Listen, my buddy Clarence, he's out there in Vegas, and actually he's running for a state rep position. He was on CNN. He asked a question to Bernie Sanders, and someone from the Democratic Party out there reached out to him like, hey, man, yeah, you'll be a good fit for this role, so for this position. So he's actually out there campaigning. But before that, he had been telling us like, man, our mayor is crazy. I'm like, really? He's like, man, y'all just don't know. So when I finally started getting more national attention, I would hit him up like, dude, did she just say this is the crazy lady you've been talking about? I was like, yes. And then that Anderson Cooper interview dropped. I'm like, wow, this woman is wild. I couldn't believe half the shit she was saying. The whole thing about the diagram with in the restaurant, in the Chinese restaurant, or over in China, that was crazy. But also too, she was like, well, listen, that's what they supposed to do. I'm just the mayor. So, lady, that's right. You're the mayor. You're supposed to figure this stuff out. He's like, I don't own them casinos. I wish I did, but I don't own them. But one thing I did learn that Anderson Cooper kind of alluded to, he kind of slid in there. She has no authority over the Strip.
No, the county does.
The county does. So I was like, well, thank God. But I was watching MSNBC, and it was Stephanie Rule, I think is her name. And a guy who owns casinos down there, he was like, man, she been talking crazy forever. I don't know what's going on with her. And then he stopped talking. He stopped saying something for a second. And then he was like, she need to cut this shit out. It was or like, she full of shit. It was something along those lines, and the host was like, whoa. And he said it twice. And I'm like, he's upset. So yeah, man.
Did he said he wanted them still to be closed?
Yeah, he was like, we can't do this. He's like, we cannot open up. Like, no, like she need to cut this shit out. Like, stop saying this shit.
You open up, it's gonna crash harder than it's gonna tank. It's gonna tank hard and fast.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it too. Vegas is a hotspot. I mean, everyone goes to Vegas. Everywhere. It's not like Vegas is just someplace that Americans like to go.
Right.
I have played craps with many of people from other countries, especially China, inside of Vegas.
I was wondering you're going to get to that part. If you've been to Vegas before, listen real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. I went to Vegas when SARS popped off, right? Me and the old lady, right? We step in the casino, we like, whoa, right? Because at this point, we don't know, I hate to, not to be racist or anything, but it's always that stereotype of, sometimes Asian people like to gamble, Black people, we like to gamble too. Like even if you go to casino over here. But we stepped in, I was like, damn, the sauce is up in this joint. And I always tell the story when we left, because we went to Los Angeles afterwards, and we ended up leaving from the international airport. And we went to the airport, and it was like, damn, there's some sauce up in this joint. So going, Franco, to your point, yeah, you go be in that casino with that Wuhan for real.
It's legit. Like I made a lot of money off of side bets from Asians throwing dice on crap tables. It's the way of life. So
you tell them to blow on the dice.
No.
Listen, none of us are racist. We're just joking.
I can't.
A little bit of that Rona.
Right. Let me get a sprinkle of that Wuhan.
Nah, it's just so, yeah, to your point, yes. Vegas, no.
Yeah,
Vegas.
no. Seriously, no.
Yeah, it'd be terrible.
And Sakuba even say, like, man, that's like a petri dish. It's kind of like the AC going around and just so many people. How many people you know, especially them older ladies, I mean, you usually see older ladies hitting the slot machines. Every time somebody coming and touch them things, it's or hitting the little buttons, whatever like that. And that's all it takes is this one encounter and boom. You know, so unless you go, you don't wash your hands or anything like that.
It just feels like it's
very easy.
It feels like no one's seen the movie Outbreak. No one's seen Contagion. Like no one is aware that it literally takes one fucking person to fuck up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was kind of scary is this the pandemic documentary on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah.
I still gotta watch that. I haven't watched it yet.
My wife was watching. I had to leave. I'm like, I'm not watching this. I'm going back.
That's how I'd be.
We supposed to be watching Ozark, babe. You want to watch this shit?
D and Davis, right now we got Ray and Franco from the Dads Talking Shit podcast. Make sure you follow that show at DTS_podcast. So real quick, for months, Joe Biden has argued that under pressure and political duress, Donald Trump may pursue increasingly extreme measures to stay in power. In November, Biden said that he feared that as the walls close in on him, he becomes more erratic. And I'm genuinely concerned about what he may do in order to try to hold on to office. In January, Biden fretted. He still has another 9 to 10 months. God knows what can happen. And Thursday, he added some urgency in his warning, suggesting that Trump might try to delay or otherwise disrupt the election. Mark my words. Mark my words. I think he's going to try and kick back the election somehow, come up with some rationale as why it can't be held. Biden said at the fundraiser, according to a news media poll report. Trump, he suggested, is trying to let the word out that he's going to do all that he can and make it very hard for people to vote. And that's the only thing that he thinks is possible. You already know. They talking about the negotiations right now. Republicans live to suppress the vote anyway, which is so un-American in general. And you know that in some of these states, they don't want to have the mail-in vote. And then let's go back to Florida and the Gore-Bush run when they was out in the swamps, and it was like, man, it's like a box of ballots out, and there's boxes of ballots out here. Dude, they're going to suppress the fuck out of this vote. If you don't know that, go ahead.
I believe, Ray D, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't I say something like this to you? I remember saying something.
You said a lot of things to me, brother.
Right, I do say a lot of fucked up shit. I believe I mentioned to you and to a bunch of other people that Trump is going to figure out a way to not leave office.
Yeah, I think you did, though.
He's shown it. And the way he talks, the way he's been, and it's really what this whole lockdown, this whole pandemic is what it's showing me and my own conspiracy theory thoughts is that this is the perfect out for him to be like, yeah, no, I'm not going. Because at first I'm thinking like it's going to take force to remove him out of office. I'm thinking he's going to like the election's going to happen.
Yeah, military.
And then you're going like, hey, motherfucker, I'm getting the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like, no, come take me. And with all his militia. But now it's a public health concern, public safety. I'm not holding elections. We're going to push this back. And of course, the Senate's going to vote for it.
Well, he still got the House, though.
Yeah, he still got the House. Thankfully,
the House ain't gonna vote for it. It's gonna be hard for him to try to pull that itch off. Go ahead, D.
See, my whole thing is it still come down to the actual states. And you have a lot of states that still have, obviously, Democratic mayors. Also, too, you have some governors, some Republican governors out there. The Republican governor out there in Maryland, he ain't a big fan. I don't think he's a big fan of Trump, and I think Trump don't really too much care for him either. So you're going to have some governors out there like, hell no, we still doing it. Even if you want to go out there and push around a governor of North Dakota, South Dakota, and fucking Oklahoma, or whatever like that, the majority of this country is going to have the election. So I don't know. I think he's going to try something, but I don't think it's going to get to the point where he's going to be successful in trying to stay in office. And I keep saying this. You talking about you want to see a revolt? You want to see a revolution? Let that motherfucker go in and try like, I ain't moving. Yeah, it's going to be some table flipping then. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, they're going to try to suppress the votes. And it's going to be, I see that.
You definitely going to try that.
Listen, the militias are with him, though, D. I'm just saying that.
And
these Democrats don't flip enough tables, D.
Well,
They want to talk about it. You know, the militia out there with the thing strapped on right there. Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, he got them real go-getters. All right? Them real go-getters.
I ain't putting nothing past anybody.
I'm just saying, look, we've been saying that since before. I mean, as Franco was saying, that's one thing that we've been talking about that they was going to have to probably force him out. But he's basically said it. He's basically like, I may run 3 times. Like, it was like, damn, son, who is you, Teddy Roosevelt?
Dude, I think he's honestly worried about getting
caught by jail.
Get put in the clink.
Yeah, that's why.
Because Mueller said at the hearing, they was like, can he be, charged or kind of get looked at after he's out of office? He was like, yeah. He said it multiple times.
That's what it was all about.
Dude is worried about going to the clink.
As you would be too.
Yeah, and that was the South District up there in New York.
Yes,
I don't think they don't care. They don't fuck around, and I think they want to go after him because the majority of New York hate his ass.
They are going after him, D.
I'm just saying. I'm talking about when he get out of office. That's what I'm saying. He's very worried about that.
Man, that man get out of office, we might not even see him again.
It's gonna be a whole way trip to Russia.
It's gonna. You know what? My one thing about why necessarily removing for office, impeaching didn't work, and the frustrating aspect is the threat of him always running again, because he's going to use that, and that's going to be a threat. Like, you know what? I may run on you bitches this year, and it's going to be like, here the fuck we go again. And rather, if he'd been impeached, it's like, nah, motherfucker, you can't have this office anymore. Like that. Just think about the pull and the gravitational pull he's going to have when he leaves, and the amount of people that are going to be following him, watching him on Fox. It's going to be and he's not even going to be able to be held by office, because in some ways someone could come along and be like, just like Fauci, and be like, yeah, this motherfucker is lying, right? Like, once he's out of office, the people that can speak to the truth aren't going to be around to invalidate the bullshit that he spews out of his fucking mouth.
Right. He can just be a talking point on Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
Radio show, yeah.
Yeah, Rand Paul is goofy. All right. All right. CeeDee Lamb was sitting next to his girlfriend, Crimson Rose, when she grabbed his phone and he was talking to the Cowboys on the other phone. Without missing a beat, Lamb snatched that bitch out of her hand properly.
Catch the stiff arm, yards after catch, the tough catches in traffic. He can do that. He's a kid who's very explosive. He'll take that big hit, hold on to the football, knows how to find the open area in that defense. Obviously, coming out of Oklahoma, they schemed to get him the football, so route running we'll have to transition to with the Dallas.
Rose said she wasn't snooping. Rose said his agent was FaceTiming him while he was on the phone, and she said I was going to do the girlfriend thing and answer it.
It also came out. Well,
you don't got to put that girl's business out there if you're about to go to. I don't know what you're about to say.
What? No.
Okay.
CeeDee Lamb came out and said he sent a tweet out talking about
it wasn't like that.
Put that shit out. She want to be nosy on national television. Put that bitch out there. Damn on that.
No,
hey man, if she was
all right, she used to mess with Trey Young. All right, you got it. There you go.
If she'd have seen something that she didn't want to see, she would have been ultimately embarrassed. Like, why put yourself in that position, though?
What? Did you see her face after she did it?
Yeah, because he snatched that bitch. Hey, she probably was worried about that backhand coming.
Yeah.
Don't do CeeDee. His mama.
His mama.
His mama was right there like, bitch, I told you about that hoe.
Right. She should have been here in the first place.
Exactly.
So it wasn't just his girl that was having moments in the draft. There were multiple guys who got picked on television, and their girls was in some epic fashion. Like they the ones that got drafted.
Isaiah Simmons from Clemson.
Simmons.
Woo, woo, son. You won twice. You already won that draft, but you won that one too, brother. Woo, Lord. Woo, listen. That's good. That's good. COVID stay at home right there, boy.
That was great publicity stunt right there.
Yeah, but she was waving at the camera.
Put this body right here.
Hey man, she was waving at the camera, making sure everybody saw her. She looked, And then you had my favorite, because she got
snatched up.
Ooh, Isaiah Wilson's girlfriend. She was cut. You couldn't see his face.
Yeah,
you saw all of her face, and then obviously you see his mama snatch her up, and she like fighting. Which
yes,
I personally want to know what happened when the cameras left.
Oh man,
I told you to get your ass the fuck up.
She probably was the only person of Caucasian descent inside that house. So I don't know what happened with all the family.
She kicked her ass out the house like Uncle Phil.
Get your ass out of here. Yeah, she did. She snatched her ass up. Black Mama said right there. Get your ass out of there. Like,
when I was first watching, I was like, why is she dancing in that boy's lap? I was like, wait, somebody is pulling her up. I said, at first I thought she was snapping. I was like, oh, she getting a dance on. I was like, no.
I thought she was TikToking or something.
Yeah, I thought at first. And it was like, oh, no, you see the mama like, get your ass. I told you. Right? Oh, man. Shorty wanted to let everybody know this is my man.
Yeah.
You ain't coming. This is my man. Look, we made it. His mom was like, nah.
The funniest part about it is that there is a job for a guy to get women for these players. So, I mean, you don't matter unless he makes you matter.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying? Like, you doing all that extra shit on TV just makes you look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how. Let's see this same effort, put in
when he in Dallas and he snowed in Dallas.
Wait, the snowed in, Michael Irvin snowed in, or like old last Super Bowl in Dallas when it was actually snowing?
Either way.
Like Coke snowed in, or just like they unprepared for the snow in Dallas snowed in? Just want to know.
Either one.
Okay. Both. I'm snowed in with the Coke.
Yeah.
All right, just making sure.
You find yourself in like a Michael Jordan situation where I didn't do none of that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going on in there.
Wait.
I walked out.
Did y'all see, I sent it to the guys in our group. Did y'all see the joke one where they had the dude kind of talking over it? And he was like, Steve Kerr and Bill Paxton, John Paxson, and Bill Wennington was over here doing this to a woman. And at the end of it, he's like, shit, I moved back there with my mama. I'm trying to be the GOAT. Did y'all see that one? If y'all didn't see that one, all right, I'm gonna send it to y'all. It's the funniest shit ever. Had me laughing for a whole day. But it's from that. If they took that excerpt and then they kind of just played with it, it was pretty good. We'll send it to y'all after the show is over.
Oh man,
all right,
that's great.
Dan Davis sitting here with the Dad Talking Shit podcast. It's been 6 months since Joker was released, and the award-winning film is still causing a stir. A study published in the Journal of American Medical Association, a peer-reviewed medical journal, found that the film was associated with higher levels of prejudice towards people with mental illness. The study had 84 participants complete a 28-item prejudice towards people with mental illness scale before and after watching Joker. Joker was associated with higher levels of prejudice towards those with mental illness, the study found. Beyond prejudice, associating mental illness with violence made road support for policies that we know will be beneficial for those with mental illness, integration communities. Additionally, Joker may exacerbate the self-stigma for those with mental illness, leading to delays in seeking help. It's noted that the limitation of the study is it did not assess whether viewing Joker was associated with actual behavior. In The Dark Knight, Joker asks, why so serious? One might level the question at us, arguing the Joker has nothing to be concerned with, researchers wrote. However, with this view, it ignores the profound consequence of prejudice has on mental illness. Phoenix and director Todd Phillips defended the dark origin story amid backlash. Phillips told NPR's Terry Gross on Fresh Air that he purposely wanted to explore the consequences of cutting social services for mental health. We went through it. It is important to shine a light on that system, he said earlier this year. And I think a lot of people, the system is broke. And why not use a film to make a point about that?
I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, go ahead.
It amazes me. It took a film for motherfuckers to realize that cutting funding was the fuck.
I would say, is this something
funded for years?
Is this something new?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Tinley Park Mental Hospital has been shut down for at least 8 to 9 years.
Yeah.
And now we want to talk about because Jacqueline, he did a good ass job. It was a good movie, but now we're talking about cutting funding. Fuck off.
Yeah. No, this has been going crazy for a long time. I know Ken and I usually talk about this. Like, man, growing up, you didn't see it. You didn't see so many people that you clearly knew had mental issues just out in the streets by themselves. You never saw that really because, like you said, Franco, you had facilities out there in Tinley Park. The one is everybody knows here in Chicago. You knew about that one, but now the funding has been cut dramatically across the board, not just here, obviously in Illinois, but across the country. And it's kind of like, now y'all want to talk about it because of a movie? Like, yeah, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully something happens. But once again, it comes down to where your taxes going. Do you know who's representing you? Do you know somebody who's willing to campaign to fund these kind of facilities, whatever like that. So, I mean, I guess it's good to get the name out. I mean, get it out there to begin with. But this has been happening forever. Well, I say forever, but for far too long.
I mean, that's a turning point. Like when you can see it in the movie when she told, "Oh, we're not funding no more. You know, you can't get the help no more." And that was the turning point in the movie. And so in real life, when Tinley Park, all that stuff closed, you start seeing more crime and all that stuff happening.
Yeah. I personally think that if you had all these mass shootings happening, and of course, as the news puts it, when it's typically a
white person,
right,
lone
wolf, mental health, and all that, you would think that would start the conversation on funding, but not.
Not a movie, not a Joker movie, not a DC movie.
I know.
Hey, that just showed that was a great, powerful ass movie.
It was. Yeah,
it was a great movie. Yeah.
I know old heads have always told me that, like in the 70s, perhaps early 80s, that there were rehab clinics and mental illness clinics, several in Chicago. I think it used to be one, actually. We were talking about 26 in California. It used to be one over there by 26 in California for a rehab or something like that. And they closed all these down on purpose. And even when you look at what Rahm did with, like, you know, like now how the schools, public schools, for instance, have come out and been like, you know what, we did a disservice to your kids if your kid has any type of like learning disability or issue or whatever. And you look at how they cut all those services. And it was a report like some years ago about people who were leaving Chicago because they couldn't get those services for their kids anymore. I mean, man, it's a plan. It's a scheme that they've been sitting here doing for the longest to try to get the people they want to live in that bubble to be in that bubble and the people they don't out of the box, basically.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you think?
I mean, I like a lot of the points that you guys are saying. I just think overall with mental health, there's still just a general stigma where everybody's just kind of like eye roll or just kind of laugh it off. Like, oh, it ain't that big of a deal. Just toughen up. That's all it is. And we still scratching the surface of what these issues can do, how to treat these issues. I mean, it's still just so underfunded, so understudied, and nobody really wants to listen to it. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I think everyone just still has that thing like, oh, if you got a mental issue, you must be just weak mentally somehow.
Right.
Or they give you a bunch of drugs and they drug you out.
Exactly that. And I would say so much time has passed since all these facilities closed. Nobody want to put in the effort to even study it now because they got to go back so many years and do so much. Like running a statistic with 28 people, I don't find it viable. Like, give me at least 100 people.
You get some data, but you're not. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, there's still facilities out there, like Loretto, Madden, even the one that my lovely wife works at.
You better get it right.
I wanted to call it by the real like hospital name, not the actual like the parent hospital, not the actual hospital. Linden Oaks. I mean, there are facilities. I mean, Alexian Brothers, I know they have a facility too, but you're right, Ken. Like it was. They had a lot of more facilities. They had a lot of programs and stuff like that. They just often just cut.
Hey, you know what? Let me ask you guys this. Like you said, you all worked in the county for a very long time. What are the percentage of guys you look in there, you see is like, man, you should probably be in a mental facility, but not in jail?
Good question, dude.
I would say
Frank don't want them all in jail. See how he just paused right there? Wait. He lock his ass up.
Throw him at SAG, 23 for 1, goddammit.
Don't give me this mental facility business.
Well, if y'all want to, I mean, to be honest, speaking, the Cook County, the jail has turned into a mental health facility. It is the largest mental health facility inside the state, even though it's called. It's not even called jail. It's called Cook County Correctional Facility.
Correctional Facility.
Right. Okay. So even the word in itself is to correct behavior for whatever. But the thing is, they focus on mental health. They focus on providing excuse me,
COVID.
Yeah. Right. Providing programs for the detainees. So. You know, for me and Ray, the real true people who I would say probably like 30-40%. Wow. 30, 25, 30, between 25, 30, 35
Mm-hmm. On the high end, yeah.
On the high end, most of them just be bullshitting.
Yeah, and we see it. We see it a lot.
You get out early. When you get out early, if you go in and take them pills, they be like, "Yeah, you crazy?" And I know people personally, and it's like, "Wait, you're taking medication?" And it's like, "Yeah, because basically this is going to take time off for me being locked up."
Yeah. Then they don't even take the medication because I see it a lot. They own those programs. They get labeled that, oh, you're this level, so you got to take these meds. But a lot of them don't take the meds.
They cheat them.
They sell them. Cheat them, give them to somebody else, and somebody else OD off of them.
Which blows my mind. Why the fuck you would take meds from another man's cheek? That
bit in his mouth. You might as well kiss him. At that point, you might as well swallow. Right. Yeah. Tongue kiss him. Tongue kiss the pill right off his tongue. Why not?
Just snowball the medication.
Wow, you get this quality from Dad Talking Shit podcast right here.
That's some shit talking right there.
All right, because let's try to run through these real quick. Yep. All right, Chris Hemsworth said that he's become fascinated by the world professional wrestling as he prepares to portray Hulk Hogan in a biopic for Netflix.
Shit.
Yeah, the superhero star said.
Dan's favorite.
I knew this was coming. The superhero star set to play the 1980s wrestling icon in the movie, which will be directed by Joker filmmaker Todd Phillips.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't know about the director.
The big question. Ken, will you watch this movie?
You know how much you loved Hulk Hogan.
Stop. You know, for anybody that knows, I hate Hulk Hogan. Once he showed his true nature, it destroyed my childhood.
But he was your hero before said comments.
Technically, he wasn't a sound wrestler. I know this, but that big boot drop meant something to me in my childhood. But fuck him for life.
Take it away.
That's just what it is.
He wrestled like an 80-year-old his whole career.
Facts.
You're not gonna watch the movie and take a trip down memory lane of your childhood?
I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm not gonna seek it out. But at one point, perhaps I will. But I'm definitely not gonna. I'm not like, man, I can't wait to see it. Man, dude, I'll be honest with you. You only gotta smack me on my face one time for me to be like, oh, okay, I got you now. And like, I don't come back for more. Like, but let me tell you, I'm a human being too. Nah, fuck it. It's over. It's a wrap. I keep it moving.
I do want to see how they go about it. I mean, is it going to be?
Oh, you always support wrestling and racism. So we knew you was there for everything. You wrestling and racism are your passions. You were like, does Vince McMahon hate my face? Let me still give him my money. That's DeMoss.
No, not at all. Not at all. I am very curious to see where they go down with this.
You're watching it, right?
I probably like it. Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
I want to support that shit.
I want to see if they show, if they try to make it seem like he just became racist at that moment when he made the comment, or if he's been that way his entire life. They're not gonna show that, but that's why I'm gonna watch this.
That's what I'm curious about. How true it's gonna be.
They're gonna be very careful with that. They're gonna be very careful.
They're gonna show him calling Tiny Lister the N-word during No Holds Bars tapings. You black son of a bitch.
No, this is part of the script. It's part of the script.
Yeah, see, it's right there. Line 32.
Vince wrote it.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna skip over one because I know you guys want to do The Last Dance. So this is the last one off of this list.
Yeah.
Teddy versus Face. What were your guys' thoughts?
I didn't even watch it.
Listen,
I watched it. I love
the quality. Listen, Teddy Riley did us such a service. One, I didn't know he hated us, but he did us such a service because you had to hate us. Listen, those two, it was some of the funniest shit ever. If it went well, it wouldn't have been as funny, especially being locked in the house. Boy, that shit was toe down funny as fuck. Watching that.
Everybody did it with it too.
Yeah, they redid it. They redid it 2 days later. 2 days later, but still,
you fucked up the first time.
It was, dude. That shit was funny. Teddy Riley was in there cheating. Teddy Riley was using songs that he did not do.
A synthesizer.
Exactly. He didn't do Human Nature remix. He was using songs that he didn't even do. Right,
like he had a whole goddamn band and still was.
He had a hype man behind him the first go round because he was going, and they actually showed it like a couple days before it was initially supposed to happen. The Babyface ended up getting coronavirus. Teddy did this thing where he was in that studio and he was playing with the band, and I was thinking, he's gonna try to do this shit for the battle with Babyface, and he tried to do that shit through fucking Instagram. and was like, what the fuck is you doing? Go to a room and play them motherfucking songs, and tried to fucking reboot his whole motherfucking career, which social media wise, it has been phenomenal for them. I think Babyface went from like 400,000 to 1 point something million. Yeah. And Teddy is almost at 1 million followers, and he was probably like at maybe 300 or something like that. Yeah. Social media wise, it has definitely propelled them and brought a new generation to them. But still, Teddy Riley was on some fuck shit, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, the first time, especially with the memes and Spice Adams doing videos and everything like that, it was hilarious. The second time they did it though, it came out really well, and the sound quality is a lot better. So the second time, you just kind of sat back and just enjoyed it. You know, so it was kind of like a little concert, whatever like that. But it was cool though.
Guys, all right. So we're going to get tomorrow episode 3 and 4. The Last Dance is going to be centered around Phil Jackson getting the job and Doug Collins being dismissed, and Dennis Rodman fleeing to Las Vegas with Carmen Electra during the good old days. I would have fled you exactly. It was blood all over the place. It's like, dude, you broke it. But yeah. So what were your guys' thoughts on the first 2 episodes, and what are you expecting from the next 2 episodes?
Oh man, it was nothing short of great, man. It was nothing short of great, man. I really see how they did Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
I really see it, and I think they took advantage of this country boy who didn't know much, went to this real small school. Now he want to play with the big league, so we gonna do him in.
Luke Longley made more money than Scotty. How is that possible?
Ron Harper
I got a little problem with that.
Scotty.
Why isn't anyone blaming his agent?
Yeah,
where is Scotty's agent in all of this? Because Jerry said don't sign the deal, and he signed it, and his agent was the one brokering this deal and didn't do anything for him afterwards.
Yeah.
Jerry still should have ripped the deal up, though.
Yeah, should have.
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah,
but there's no talk about Scotty's agent at all so far these couple weeks.
But we all know
the Bulls did wrong.
We all know Jerry wasn't gonna rip up that damn deal.
Yeah, but that also shows you the problem with the Bulls right now, and both organizations. When it comes to superstars, he plays them, but the people that need him, and they keep feeding on to Jerry, and Jerry doesn't do right by those big time players, and then he gets pissed off when they're not kissing the ring, dude. It was no reason for Michael Jordan to not get paid what he's paid the last 2 years of that deal. Like, people forget, when he came back for that 17 games, he wasn't getting paid. When he came back for that first season, he wasn't getting paid. Michael Jordan, and to say that, well, he was getting Nike money. You know what? I like my Nike money, but I like that NBA money on top of that Nike money.
Yeah,
exactly. And Jerry Reinsdorf, he didn't have to make them the highest paid players, but they both should have been the top 5 in their positions at that point. You could have short-balled the rest of them in Memphis. Like, the fact that he consistently does shit like this, and people sit there and act like, man, they gonna turn that shit around. Man, fuck Jerry Reinsdorf, because, dude, you have brand franchises that I love into the ground. And remember that, was it Daryl Morey or somebody that came out, a general manager that was like, yeah, when I met Jerry, he told me, all you want to do is be second because you don't want expectations to be too high. And he was like, I ain't say that shit. And we know he said that shit. Look, man, that alone, yeah, and you're right, Ryan, that's on his agent. But I'll say another part that's on his agent. You got to get an opt-out in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You should have brought that to the table. Like, man, that before it even happened, listen, you know what? Let's get an opt-out. You said it's bad, right, owner? Yeah, I kind of agree with you. He wants the security. Let's put an opt-out right here so he can come back to the market. Like that. So that part is definitely on his agent. But for Jerry Reinsdorf to still be benefiting from Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, and at that point, all he had to do was give them a little bit more cash and was like, you signed that deal, fuck it. Man, that's some bullshit.
Hey, man, I just want to know how old are the children, the blood he's bathing in to look so young. Man, he's owned the Bulls and the White Sox for decades.
Oh, virgin blood.
I didn't know like, what the fuck is this regimen?
It's called that good money, being rich to the motherfucker.
Yes.
And real quick before we go up out of here, Tim Floyd actually came out. He had an article. While reading the article on ESPN, he basically told Jerry Reinsdorf asked Tim Floyd to tell Jerry Krause not to break it up because, you know what I'm saying? And Tim Floyd was like, man, y'all, like, do you understand what y'all have? You have the Beatles on your hands. Don't fucking do this shit. Don't break it up. Let it die naturally. He said eventually they took the job, but even Tim Floyd was like, you motherfuckers crazy to break this up. But
facts.
It's about Jerry Reinsdorf.
His job, though.
You win 3 championships in a row. Now you want to break up a team. That's ridiculous.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Listen,
only the Bulls.
we definitely appreciate you two for coming on, Ray and Franco. We look forward to doing this again. Make sure you follow these guys at DTS_podcast. Support Dad's Talking Shit podcast. You two be safe out there while you're out here working in this world. Stay safe, guys. Keep your family safe. But we definitely appreciate it. Hey, everybody, don't do anything crazy for you hear from us again.
Keep your hands to
yourself. Appreciate y'all.
Stay cool. Wash those hands.
Stay healthy.
You too.
That's right.
All right. Salute.
The Flip.